With sugar and spice and a roll of the dice, you're listening to The Dice Girls. Hi, everybody, and welcome to our first, discussion episode of The Dice Girls. How's everybody doing?
Good, excited.
Yeah.
Well, I just, I don't remember anything.
That's okay. That's exactly what this episode is for. Listen, I want everybody listening to know that this is just as much for us as it is for y'all. We've been playing now for, 2.5 years?
Wow.
In, essentially the same storyline. And 2.5 years to tell a story means that things are bound to be lost along the way. And so that's kind of why we started the Clips episodes to begin with, was we knew we were pumping out a lot of episodes and it could look really overwhelming to someone who wanted to kind of start listening. And so those are kind of meant to be anchor points where you can go and get completely caught up in the major plot points of our story and skip 20 episodes along the way. It's the condensed version, essentially. And this time we're doing it a little bit different. This is episode 80. So we're going to do kind of a discussion style recap this time instead of the Clips episode, which I think is going to benefit all of us. We're going to start basically hundreds of years ago, once upon a time, hundreds of years ago. So hundreds of years ago, a group of 5 people got together and they created a new ritual that they called Omara. And what the Omara does is it takes a piece of your soul and it ties it to the others who are doing the ritual. And they created a symbol and they kind of lived their lives after that. But after a long time, it became clear that the ritual maybe wasn't all it was cracked up to be. And the gnome who originated the ritual, she denounced it on her deathbed.
Didn't we get that information when I stole the books?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, you did. You got that information from the books that you stole from Charlie.
Yeah.
Which
Stole but returned.
you did return them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to tell you guys how much it still tickles me pink what a moral dilemma it was in our D&D party that you stole a book from the library. I feel if there's any sentence that can perfectly sum up the mood of the Dice Girls, it's we had an existential crisis because we stole a book from the library.
But we stole the book from a cute librarian gnome who we wanted to be friends with.
You did.
Also, the late fees are atrocious.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. Other information that you found out, basically after, the gnome who created it was called Wilhelmina, and, her great times, however many grandson Wulfric, he found her notes on how to perform the ritual. Later in his life, he got falsely accused of killing tiefling children, and he was sent to the Purg, which is basically the afterlife. Not the afterlife, it's basically purgatory. While he was there, he met 5 others who he believed had also been falsely accused. He met Shael, Sadie, Roke, Taru, and he met Trigus. I think you were 12, is what we established. So you were quite young, and your character basically wound up in the Purg because you were accused of poisoning your family.
Yeah. Kind of concerning.
Did we ever figure out?
No.
Was that That was someone else, right?
I hope so.
I mean, the common theme is that the people in the group are very adamant that they are innocent of the crimes that they've been accused of. So I feel like it's pretty safe to assume you're okay with Trigus.
Yeah.
Over the 20 years that you all spent, not you all, not Alexa and, I almost said Alexa and Kai. Trigus and the 5 others, including Wulfric, spent 20 years together in the Purg, becoming their own family. Wulfric eventually told everybody about Omara, the ritual, and they, as a group, decided to repeat the ritual, except for Trigus, who kind of hung back, which wound up ultimately being a good thing. I guess a good thing for Trigus. The ritual wound up going terribly wrong. It caused a massive explosion at the Purg. Trigus, you were flung to sea, your memory lost. Something unknown happened to the others, something that you guys don't know, happened to the others that kind of caused their physical bodies to basically be trapped in cages for 100 years without aging, which is information that you found out from Sadie based on her experience. And then suddenly they were set free, and they didn't know why, and they didn't know what had happened or what was going on, basically. So their physical bodies spent 100 years in this cage while Wulfric was kind of in hiding. Their souls had found their way into gemstones using a type of magic that your friend Rom told you he created while he worked in the Purg a long time ago. He worked in the Purg with the head demon named Baruso. And when he originally created the magic, it was only meant to be used after a soul was already separated from its body. But Baruso, he found out, was using it to steal the souls of people who were still living. Somehow the gemstones found their way to you guys. And that's where things start to get a little fun.
You could say that.
Through a long course of events, you have started basically reuniting the gemstones with their owners. So there are 6 gemstones that you have. They're the colors of the rainbow, and each one goes with a different person. So red, if you remember, is Sadie's. It has been smashed, and her soul has been reunited with her body. Orange, by power of deduction, you know that orange belongs to Roke, and you have the orange gemstone still. You don't know where Roke is. Yellow was Trigus's gemstone. It was hidden in a hidden compartment below all of the others. There was no soul in it because Trigus is whole. Green, you guess, belongs to Shael, you're pretty sure. And you have that one. And you're currently on your way to Shael to try and reunite her with her soul. Blue belongs to Taru, and it got stolen by the ghost of Kai's former mentor, Ivan, and taken to the Purg. And then purple is Wulfric's, and it has been smashed, and his soul has been reunited with his body. So yeah, that's kind of essentially like my overview that I have for you guys about the big important information that y'all have. You have met so many fun people and done so many fun things and collected so many fun items along the way that there's no way I could have covered it all and still have a reasonably length episode. Like, I feel like we could sit here and talk forever about all of the, like, shenanigans, the specific shenanigans that we've gone through. And so I think I kind of want to, I want to ask you guys first what some of your favorite shenanigans were, and then maybe we can talk about some of the moments that were, more important for your character. All right, so who are we putting on the spot first? Someone tell me, anyone tell me, one of your favorite shenanigans.
Well, okay, so, the first one that pops out to me isn't fun for me. It's when I hit my head on the window. That's the first one that
I don't remember that.
It was when we first got to, what's the town called?
You were in Osylum.
Osylum. I know it started with an O. We were in Osylum, and we were following the liars into Hione's candle shop.
Yep.
And I wanted to be sneaky and peek in the window and see what I could gather. Be a rogue for once. and I rolled a nat 1. I hit my head on the window.
Oh god,
I remember that now.
that was
Oh my
great.
gosh.
That was so funny.
My first thought was, well, basically everything with Harold.
Yeah.
But more specifically, I believe we were trying to get our horses back that he had stolen, and we were meeting him on the road. Remind me how that plays out.
So you guys, Harold stole your horses. And you decided to, like, teleport ahead of him and, like, turn back and meet him on the road. And I think he came back with, like, a completely different horse.
Yeah, he had stolen somebody else's horse.
Like, you had this big ambush planned. Now that I talk back on it, what a mean thing for me to do as a DM. To be like, you plan this heist and your horses aren't even there. I'm sorry for that, but I'm not, because it was great. Yeah, and I'm trying to remember, I know it went horribly wrong. It was like, instead of fighting, you guys tried to talk sense into him, and he's just not a smart guy. So it was a very circular conversation.
Until somebody used, like, charm person on him or friends or something.
Oh, yeah, I think he got charmed.
Yeah.
And he said that the horses had run away from him, and I think you basically found out that they wound up finding their way back to Rom.
Yeah.
Like,
These horses are like, man, this sucks. Like, let's just go
Yeah.
home.
I'm pretty sure they essentially just went home themselves.
These guys are never gonna find us. Let's just go home.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Trigus, what's a fun shenanigan that stuck out to you? Or Kim, I should
Boy.
say.
When we were in Wolfric's tree house, and
I know what you're gonna say, and I'm already laughing. Go for it.
and Trigus is obsessed with secret tunnels. That's all he cares about, is wanting to find secret tunnels, and he's really disappointed that there aren't any. And so he goes, I think, into the kitchen, and Rachna and her dad had just finished this very emotional conversation, and they're both in tears. But I walked in there and said something like, oh, you guys are crying. And I'm real disappointed because I couldn't find any secret tunnels. And then Rachna said, why do you think we're crying?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you
that's
had.
why we're crying.
Yeah, I think you had walked in there saying, "Oh, you guys are looking for secret tunnels too."
Yes.
That's right.
Wait,
Yeah.
why are you crying?
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments.
I don't know what my favorite shenanigan is, but one of them that's up there was from a little later, when you guys were in the dream plane and you met the fireflies and you asked them for directions.
Oh, no.
You had 3 questions that you could ask the fireflies. And the first question was, where's Taru? And they said, right, left, forward, left. And that unexpectedly turned into like a 10-20 minute, like, which way did they say? Should we waste one of our questions and ask them again? This is stupid. And you did wind up using one of your other questions.
Oh, we did, didn't we?
You did. You used up your 3rd question.
That's so
Asking them to
embarrassing.
repeat the directions slower. I do have another moment that I wanted to share that, like, kills me to this day. hypothetically conversation.
Yeah.
That you all had.
That whoosh, I don't remember.
So you and Alexa, or Rachna and Kai, I should say. Rachna and Kai went to go talk to Romulus, to Rom, and you were you were trying to find out information about the gemstones, and it started out with like general questions of like, could this gemstone be desecrated, you know, and like, how does it work and where does the magic come from? And then it just got increasingly more specific, and it was like, hypothetically, say that you stabbed someone in the head and they glowed red and then they disappeared and then their gemstone disappeared. Hypothetically, what does that mean? And like, it just got increasingly specific.
Yeah, and Kai
Asking
and
for a friend.
Rachna kept alternating, taking turns asking hypothetically questions. It was hilarious.
Yes, it was beautiful. I feel like we could talk about shenanigans like all day long.
All day.
Yeah.
We could make another 70 episodes just talking about the shenanigans and the fun that we've had.
Yeah.
We try to also have moments of like character growth and things that are like big and important. Like you guys each also have your own kind of storyline. And some of them we visited a lot more than others so far. But like, what are some important big character moments that you feel like for your characters?
I don't know, all of them.
Poor Rachna.
Poor Rachna. Rachna has a heavy soul.
She does.
Yeah. Maybe we should start with me, because I think at this point I might have the most or close to the most, and it's also kind of the biggest downer. Gosh. Number one, that time that I cried. That time that I cried while we were recording, and that was the conversation with Rachna's dad, in fact, before Trigus came in. That was when I actually cried while we were recording. I think about that.
We were all crying.
I think we all did.
Aw.
Yeah. Because we had to take a break. We had to stop.
Yeah. I remember it being really hard on Becca, because that was when we were still sitting all around the same table.
Yeah.
And I was looking her in the eye and like, and it was a pretty heavy emotional moment, and you just had to kind of take the full force of it, because we were just like face to face talking. I still think about that all the time, and I don't know, that was like a big moment for her character anyways, because everything up until that point was, well, not everything, but a lot of it was really building up to, you know, my dad left me and I don't know why, and I'm and you know, and now all of a sudden here he is, and where have you been, you know? So
I think it is like a really important moment in our whole show, because it showed like, yeah, we are goofy and ridiculous and we like do the most silly things, but like we still have those moments of like, this is hard. Kai, would have been some big Kai moments, or Mara moments, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, like that's the biggest one. I think the most important one thus far was finally feeling comfortable enough to, you know, reveal that she wasn't a human and she has a completely different name. Like the most important thing for her was that she had been with Rachna and Trigus long enough to know that they don't want her around just because she's a changeling. You know, they're not gonna make her like change shape and go do like sneaky stuff. And I don't even know if does Trigus remember that I'm a changeling? Does he know that I can change shape?
Trigus has a very short memory. Just like your mother.
Another thing that I've noticed for Kai that I really love as far as like growth is that like she kind of has grown into like this sassy kind of like snarky snarky person, and I love it so much. It's probably become one of my favorite things about Kai. Trigus, what have been some of your important character moments?
Well, it's like, as far as character growth, it's kind of something that shouldn't technically happen, because when I first started out, I didn't want a lot of intelligence and wisdom, because I thought it would fit in better with someone who's on land for the first time. But so when we'd be playing and something would come up, I would think, oh, I know what that is, but Trigus wouldn't know. So I would hold back. And then pretty soon I just thought, I can't do this. I can't play it technically the way it's supposed to be played. So I just kind of threw that out the window, and it just made it so much more fun.
Good.
And it's like, since we're definitely doing rule of cool, we're not as concerned with getting everything technically right, which gave me that freedom to, know stuff.
I like that. It's really hard not to metagame. Like, that's a thing that all D&D tables experience as a huge challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like at this point, Kai is pretty much just me. Like there are no degrees of separation anymore.
That's where the snarkiness is coming. Love it. Don't change it.
A lot of Trigus is just me.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Like I wouldn't say things to offend people, which he does a lot, and I have a hard time with that. But yeah, a lot of it is just things that I would say or do.
Can confirm. Unfortunately.
Which I love.
It sounds like we've all bled into our characters, because I definitely have too. Rockner. That is the oldest meme you could have.
I know. I was gonna say
ancient. But yeah, Rachna's goofier side is more
Mm-hmm.
me, and I think that was me just kind of like needing to break through and break out of like all the seriousness that she brings.
Yeah.
And in the end, at first I felt like it was wrong and I was breaking the character, but in the end, it made it easier to play the character.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It gave me more of a connection with her, that wasn't just like our demons.
Right. Yeah.
And one thing I specifically thought of when I was like, yeah, Rachna and I are kind of alike, and then the first thing that pops into my mind is like, if I were friends with Trigus, like real Ashley friends with real Trigus, would I eat his hair? Or...
The questions that keep you up at night.
I hope that's just a Rachna thing. We'll never know. I like to think that I wouldn't, but...
But if you had a Trigus, you might.
Yeah, I mean, it's Trigus, like the
I feel like it's similar. I feel like it's similar to like when a little child hands you a pretend phone that's ringing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
you're gonna answer.
No offense to Trigus.
No offense at all. None. But it's
but
like,
yeah, you go along with it because it's important to him.
Yes.
You may not get it, but it's important to him. So
yes.
And that's why that keeps me up at night.
Fair. Totally fair. We've had like a lot of really like important and cool moments. We've also had, I feel like, a lot of really cool and fun items. Can we like peek at some of y'all's your character sheets and like talk about some of the items that you have that like maybe it's stuff that you've forgotten what it is. Maybe like
Yeah, my equipment section on my character sheet, it goes out of the box. Like I have so much stuff. And then like not even all of it's there. Most of it's in my notebook. Because
Oh my
I have
gosh.
so much stuff.
I love the thought that like Kai is sort of a hoarder. And like just that like because of her nature, her sneaky nature or whatever, she like needs something for every occasion, right?
Right.
But it's all like just weird stuff that like only comes in handy because it has to, like ball bearings, you know?
Yeah.
Like most of the time, like almost anything would have been better than ball bearings, right? But like that's what she had in her hoard, so so that's what got used, and so like it's just a bunch of like almost like the bottom of someone's purse or something.
Right.
It's just a bunch of weird stuff that you don't remember is there. And you just reach in there and you're like, well, I can finally use this cube made of tar, you know, like whatever.
With a different color painted on each side.
Yeah, that's mine though. That was the first thing I thought of, and I'm like, wait, that's mine. So
I like giving you guys cool things.
Yes, you do.
One of my favorite things that we have used is the rope of inconvenience, where no matter what you use it for, it's just either too short to do what you needed to do.
Yep.
Didn't we tie somebody up with that, even though
Harold,
we knew
wasn't
that
it?
wouldn't
Harold,
work?
yeah.
That's why he stole your horses. Because you tied him to a tree using the rope of inconvenience, and he escaped and stole your horses. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Oh, didn't we tie him up because it's like, oh, we gotta leave you, but we don't want you to die or anything, so
Yeah.
it's just gonna be kind of tough to get out for a sec. Okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
I
yeah.
guess that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
like the one time to use it, but not when you leave your horses nearby.
Right. I guess if it was truly a rope of inconvenience and you wanted it to be easy for him to get out, it would have made it harder.
Right.
Oh.
Because it'd be inconvenient for us.
Mm-hmm. You could really do some brain work there. Like that could be a really evil item for a DM to give their characters, and I didn't
Right.
realize it until just this moment.
That feels like one of those paradox things. So, like, you could
Mhm.
ask a computer and and it would like explode because it doesn't know the answer.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
I do have an unknown tooth. I don't know. I don't know where that came from, but it's here.
Somebody's tooth and you don't know who it is.
I've got a tooth. I'm assuming that's one of the things I pulled from Hector's grab bag that we would like roll for, because I always rolled horribly on those ones. I always got the worst items.
You have terrible trinket luck. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, a tooth. And it does like, is it a human tooth? Does it say?
No clue. It just says unknown tooth.
Cool.
Oh, can we please meet somebody who's like missing their front tooth? And Kai's like, oh my god,
Oh my god, I have your tooth.
you're never gonna believe this. I've been carrying your tooth with me for years.
Do you want it back?
You want it? Look, it fits.
Your next adventure is a Cinderella-esque tooth.
No, I think it's an
Tooth
animal
mission.
tooth. like a fang or something. I don't remember. I've also
Yeah.
got the protective I think that says pearl box. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
A small thin wooden box with mother of pearl inlay. Once a day, something highly distasteful or disgusting is found in the box, unless the opener rolls a nat 20, in which case it holds a valuable gem or trinket. So maybe if we just try hard enough, we'll get the blue gemstone.
Oh, that's kind of brilliant, actually. No, I remember that because I think you've opened it a couple times and like
Yeah, like
one of
twice.
the times,
Mhm.
yeah, it was like orc boogers
Yeah.
or something. Something, and then another time I think it was just like milk, like not in a container.
Yeah,
it was like just
yeah.
Just loose milk.
yes, which I'm pretty sure someone bottled and later threw at Harold as a weapon.
Oh, is that why I have a glass jar of spoiled milk on my list? Oh my gosh. And I have it crossed out, which means I used it. So, yep.
And then one that I don't even think I've ever like really mentioned. I've got a Ithacan needle, 3-inch long steel needle of ordinary appearance. Any stitching done with this needle will undo itself overnight.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Me too.
That could be handy.
Yeah. I think it's just anytime we like run into Hector, I buy him out
Yep.
just because I don't want to
Yeah.
miss out on anything.
Right. I feel like there's some really sneaky things you could do with that needle.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought was to knit Harold something nice to wear, like for his big PowerPoint presentation he has later that he's presenting.
I want to know. Whew. Where does Harold work that he's the best candidate to make a PowerPoint presentation?
It's a presentation on stealing horses.
Oh my god.
This is my headcanon now. This is what he's doing right now. He tried to start his own group, his own cult or something, and the first thing that he did was make a ye old magical PowerPoint presentation
Totally.
for his new cronies to teach
Totally.
them how to steal horses. But it's just like cute drawings that he did himself and scanned in, and
And he like holds them up one at a time.
Comic Sans.
Oh yeah. Harold's natural handwriting is just it. That's what Comic Sans is based off of. Not many people know this.
Oh, God.
Comic
Yeah,
Sans
that's my new headcanon.
was invented because of
Yeah.
Harold.
And Harold's first slide is just a graphic on how to avoid ball bearings.
Yes, like dodging and ducking. Oh my gosh. Anybody else? What other fun? Alexa, you've got some cool stuff. I feel like you have some really cool roguey stuff, which makes sense. It's like sneaky stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. The last thing I
love
have
it.
is a chunk of Trigger's heart.
I'm sorry, what?
Chunk of Trigger's heart. Remember you gave us those like
It's a
necklaces?
beautiful necklace with a lot of deep meaning behind it. You wrote down chunk of Trigger's heart?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ashley, how did you write that down on your character sheet for Rachna, if you did?
A chunk of Trigger's heart?
It was like for your birthday, right, Trigus?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Was it?
It was like
Oh.
I separated my heart into 3 pieces for the 2 people that I care about most.
Yeah,
and-
it's a necklace. It meant a lot to Rachna.
so much
Clearly
that she
it
didn't
did.
write it down.
Yeah.
Sorry to put you on
I
the
did-
spot, Ashley.
I did write it down. It's right next to my climber's kit. It says Chunk O Trigger's Heart Necklace.
But I believe you specifically called it a chunk of your heart.
Okay,
Which
that
is
way-
why I wrote
okay.
it down that
Okay.
way.
Yeah, he
Oh,
must
yeah,
have.
that's
He
good.
must have.
This wasn't like a literal heart chunk, was it?
No.
It was like a
It's
like a
like
best friend's necklace or
I think it
That's a piece of my heart.
was.
That's a piece of my heart.
Yeah, I think it, like literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it was a one-time ritual or something that Trigus
Yeah.
had said that Tritons do,
Yeah.
and it's an actual, I think, physical piece of his heart.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because
That's
Kim,
probably why I'm not wearing it.
You guys should be wearing it.
I'm wearing mine.
Oh, okay, Rachna.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll put mine on. I'll put mine on at the beginning of the next episode, so anyone who didn't listen to this won't have any idea what is going on.
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah, and then like yeah, I got a box with a couple of jewels in it, I think, but that's about it.
A box of
I haven't been
gemstones.
keeping track of that
All
one.
right.
So far we've talked about like the world's history. We've talked about like fun moments for your characters, important moments for your characters, items that you guys have. Did anything become like more? Were there any light bulbs that went off, or like anything that?
There's always light bulbs for me. Like especially when finding out Triggis's connection to Wolfric and Sadie and all of that. That was shocking.
Yeah.
That was
So
huge.
That was huge. I don't know if like listeners know, but Trigus, that was a surprise to you as well.
Mhm.
Yes.
Like because out of the three of you, and we talked about this, Trigus, Kim, you purposefully, I remember this going in, you purposefully didn't want to give Trigus like this huge long backstory established beforehand because you wanted to be able to kind of be able to like make it up a little bit as you go along,
Yes.
which is beautiful. And then I had the idea to kind of like really connect Trigus in there, and I remember messaging you about it and saying, hey, are you okay with the fact that Trigus doesn't remember anything that happened before he was 32 years old?
Yeah, I mean,
Can
not
that be a
having any
thing?
idea why, I'm just like, sure.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
knew you were okay with like a question mark backstory. You gave me a really cool opportunity to like weave it in there.
Hmm.
But you know, also I wanted to make sure that I had your permission.
Right.
It was kind of like a tricky line where like I wanted it to be good for everybody. I also still kind of wanted it to be a little surprisey, but obviously Trigus is your character, and so like I really wanted to make sure that like I could do it in a way that could still allow you to keep your question mark background.
Uh-huh.
Part of the thought process of getting Triggis's backstory, the like Omara part of it, was I had this block in my brain where I was like, okay, I would love for Trigus to be tied into this. However, I know if he was, there's no way he wouldn't be like telling everybody about it all the
Yeah.
time. Trigus
Yeah.
Trigus does not keep secrets, and Trigus is not a liar. Like he's so pure and just speaks his mind that if something that monumental happened, and so I was like, how on earth? And that's when I was like, okay, he clearly wouldn't remember it, or else he'd be telling everyone all the
Yeah.
time, and like that doesn't work, you know, because Kim, that's not something that you wrote into Trigus. So like writing in the memory loss was it felt a little like painful to me because it's very tropey, I think, to have someone have massive memory loss, but it was also the only way I could think that this thing would happen to Trigus without him just talking about it a lot or knowing
Yeah.
it even, because like
Mm-hmm.
because Kim wants to be surprised, and so I can't, you know, so like it was like, okay, well, I can't tell Kim this is what happened to Trigus because she wants to be surprised, which is totally awesome. How am I gonna make this all work? So it's like, I guess that was a really, really, really long way of saying like I so much enjoy working with y'all because you make it so easy and fun to like weave our stories together in different ways. And, like, it works really well, basically.
Yeah, we
I mean,
love
you make
working with you because my favorite thing is one of us will come up with something, oh, we're going to do this. And technically, we shouldn't be able to do it. And you say, you know what? I love this so much. I'm going to figure out how to make this work.
Yeah, because I love a world that's based on creativity rather than, like, sticking hard to the rules.
Uh-huh.
You know, like this, I think we're lucky that all of us enjoy the more relaxed rules. That's part of the reason I get really nervous when I DM for other people.
Oh.
Because I am extremely lax. Like, it's more about the story than the rules. And if I play with someone who enjoys the game in a different way, which is fine because, you know, everyone enjoys the game differently, but that's not a style of DMing that I'm comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make sure everyone who's playing with me has fun. And so, like, that's a fear of mine, is like, if I DM for a group where I don't know the people, that makes me really nervous, because there are people who enjoy the game better when we follow the rules as written. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, so like that, we just lucked out, I feel like, on our group chemistry. So
We did.
so freaking lucky that we all just enjoy this the way that we play it.
I guess. I mean, I think you're just not taking credit for it. You're the one that put us together.
Yeah.
I don't think it was luck. I think it was Becca.
Yeah. Good point.
No, I'm gonna cry.
Aw.
Yeah, because I was a hard no when you asked me. I'm like, nope, don't want to do it.
Yep.
And you just kept at it and kept at it and kept at it and said, hey, you know, trying to make it sound more enticing. And I mean, it already sounded fun, but I was picturing it being like I would have to be doing the editing and stuff like that, and which I don't know how to do. And I just, and then the funny thing is, when you had mentioned like the Adventure Zone, you know, okay, so I'm thinking the Adventure Zone, they play D&D, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they've already done that. I thought they were the only ones that did it. I thought we were just going to be copying them, and I thought, oh, I don't know how they would feel if we just started copying what they're doing. That's super awkward. And then Becca told me there's like thousands of D&D podcasts.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that part until just now.
Yeah,
What?
I was worried
Oh
about
my gosh.
offending the Adventure Zone people.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
That is one. I had no idea. I do remember you being a hard no. Like, I remember, because I think I proposed it at first over text message.
Yep.
And then you gave me the hard no. And then I said, can we go to lunch and talk about it in person?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we did.
Yep.
And I'm so glad, because, like, well, like, I feel like Alexa would have been a harder sell if Kim, like, if you were out, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't, and so, so, like, I really legitimately cannot imagine this group with me and Ashley and whoever else we might have found to, like, no. I'm so glad forever that, like, you and Alexa came on, and, like,
Yeah, me too.
we all kind of embarked on this crazy adventure together. So I think that's all I have, like, for now. I guess I'll just ask real quick, does anyone else have anything they want to add?
Not that I can think of.
Sweet. Then we're gonna hop on out of here and thank everyone for joining us for our very first kind of discussion recap episode.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Yes, yeah. If you made it this far, thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Right?